This episode of Ouzo Talk is brought to you by Meet the Greek. From the traditional souvlaki and kodosouvli to seafood, house-made dips and delicious variations on the classics, Meet the Greek is the perfect place to get a true taste of Greece. Visit meetthegreek.com.au or call 02 9597 5062 to make a booking. Meet the Greek, proud sponsors of the Ouzo Talk podcast.
Sound is.
Nick Athanasiou, there is only a couple of episodes of Ouzo Talk left for 2025. I cannot believe where we've come from, mate.
Mate, it's been a massive year, and look, we are, one or two more to go, and we've wrapped up for the season. This is unbelievable.
I know, and we've been saying it for the last few weeks. You know, we can feel the end coming, Christmas is coming, the warmer months are coming. That episode at the end of the year where we drink a whole lot is coming as well.
That trashy episode.
I know, it's coming. It's coming.
Suspects. It is coming. We can feel it.
We haven't really flagged the fact that that's happening, but we can let the cat out of the bag. We're doing it again. So,
should we tell them what we're doing it about?
You can tell them. Go on.
We are doing. We're tasting Greek beers this time. Is our finale. So, we've done the Ouzo. We've done the Tsipro Tsikodia. Now we're going to taste test. Then we've got about a dozen Greek beers, and we've got a form guide of each beer, what region they're from, and we've got a supposedly taste testing format with our good mate Footy, but it's the podcast starts pretty good and then it just goes downhill really quickly.
It just descends like really quickly after the first 20 minutes. Although I reckon with beer it's not going to be quite as bad. The Tsipuro and the Ouzo, that was fucking messy.
Yeah, but we've timed it well because it's summer and we're going to have cold beer.
Yeah, see, this is where we fucked up last time.
We had Tsipuro in summer. Fucking bullfeds. Right?
That's okay. We're about to right that wrong. So, guys, stay tuned for the end of this season. It's going to be messy. It's going to be something.
It's going to be a bit of fun. We'll have our kodosouvli happening. We've got our usual suspects, Stavros and Forti coming in.
That's right. You'll hear the spit in the background of the souvla and the kodosouvli, as Nick said. You know, it'll be good.
It's going to be good.
It'll feel like you're here.
Definitely. Look, and it is the festive season, so it was a fantastic Brighton Les Sands Festival yesterday, and our good mate Anthony Locascio was the MC and did such a good job.
He did well without us?
He did okay without us. No, he did a top job. He saw us gave me a big hug, and he wished we were up there, but I thought, no, we had a day off today.
It's like, sorry, Anthony.
You're on your own, buddy. Yeah. You did well. But he did a good job. It was fun.
That's good to hear. That's good to
Put up with the heat, so it was really good.
Great photos, great videos from the event. How good is it, to be in Brighton? I mean, there's so many Greeks already around here, but everyone congregating in the one place on that day. It must have been amazing. I didn't get a chance to go down, but you were representing hard yesterday, weren't you?
I was all there, and you can probably see the sunglass tan around my head. Can you
aviators?
Whatever I had, the sunnies I had on, and their prescription. So I was out at night, so I was the only idiot there with sunnies on, so I couldn't see.
Everyone thought you were an artist, right?
Who's this malaga?
Who's this? Look, it's Ringo.
That's the classic.
Well, look, we've got another fantastic episode in store, and we're mixing it up now because the comedians are back. They're back in their house.
Finally.
We've had a lot of them in the past. We have had Angelo Tsaroucha, we've had Basil, we've had George Kapiniaros, we've had Nick Giannopoulos, we have had
Anthony Locascio, Cypriot Smurf,
Mary Koustas. I mean, we've been blessed in that respect. And now we've got part of the next wave, the next generation of comedians who are sort of coming through here. Greek Australian. We've seen her live and in person once, and we'll go over that story soon. But our guest today is self-styled as Australia's first hot comedian. And look, looking her up and down, at the risk of sounding creepy as well, we have to agree with her because, frankly, I was getting sick of looking at Carl Barron. So she's sorry. She's a rising stand-up comedian whose comedy is as witty and fearless as it is sexy. She just recently returned from a stint at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival where she received some fantastic reviews. Writing in The Scotsman, reviewers said of Elouise that her comedy allows her to comment on contemporary sexuality, manipulation of the spectator's gaze, and the requesting and receiving of consent. Eftos leaves some things to the imagination, but not too much in her eye-catching finale. Joining us in the distillery is Elouise Eftos. Welcome to Ouzo Talk.
Yes, thank you for having me. How are we guys?
Well done. We are excellent. Better that you're here now.
Oh, thank you for having
Absolutely.
me. It's so nice to be here with this platter in front of me. I can't believe no other podcast, but of course, no other podcast goes to this effort of a beautiful grazing board.
We try.
You guys really try. You have shirts, you have T-shirts, you have drinks, whatever I want, whatever food I want.
But
Is this for everyone or just me?
Would you feel more
Is it
special
for
if we said
Australia's
it's just
first?
for you?
Yeah, if it's just for Australia's first attractive comedian, I feel much better.
Did you notice how we both paused? We both paused.
You both went, what should we say?
What do we say now?
I'm going, do you guys do this for everyone? Because you shouldn't. They don't deserve it.
It's only for you.
No, that's
She's about to give us a praise. We paused. Fuck.
no bless. I know it's not just for me, but I appreciate it just as much.
All for
It's
you.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Good to have you here.
Thank
and we've been
you.
trying to get you for a while.
I
And
know.
we finally got you, and you're good friends with our other mate, Anthony Lukasho, as well.
Yeah, in the comedy scene, there's a few of us, Greek Aussies that are coming up and comers, which is really nice. And it's cool to see that we're sort of, I don't know, like infiltrating the scene a bit more. I feel like, I don't know, the representation for Greek Australians is quite nice. I feel very proud to represent,
Definitely.
the people. Because I also think that my style of comedy is very different. It's not,
Definitely.
I don't really focus on the fact that I am Greek Australian, but I think that it goes hand in hand a bit, and I think my next show might focus a little bit more on it. But
Really?
yeah,
Fantastic.
but it just I think I look at what people have done in the scene back in the day, and obviously I admire them and I look up to them and I'm so in awe of them, and I probably wouldn't feel like I could be doing this without seeing them do it. But I love that we can still represent, and we've got the last name, but it's also we're doing something a bit different.
Definitely.
And
Awesome. And this is our first Western Australian, I think.
Oh really?
I don't
Is
think
it
we've
really?
had one. Have we had one?
Our first Western Australian, maybe.
Oh my god,
I
I'm the
think we had
first
one.
West Aussie. That's so
We had
funny.
a West Aussie sponsor.
Okay,
Sarandis,
who was
of course.
Sarandis.
okay, so I'm very proud of that too.
there
That's
you
so
go.
cool.
First hot comedian, first Western Australian.
Australian.
Mate, you're ticking all the
goals.
boxes, eh?
Trailblazer, groundbreaking.
Boom.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get into the meat of it properly. What do you reckon, Nick? Should we have a drink?
Definitely. Let's
Oh,
have
yeah.
a drink.
Let's do it. Stiniamas.
Cheers.
Yamas. Wow, this is beautiful.
Welcome, Elouise. Okay, so
Oh, that's beautiful, Ouzo.
what do we got? We have. You want me to do the honours today, Nick?
If you like, we've got a whole range here.
This is usually Nick's thing. but-
Elouise has chosen.
I chose
Ouzo.
this.
So, Ouzo.
I can't go on Ouzo Talk and have vodka. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going, that would be sacrilegious.
Lots of people do, and lots of people
Well,
do.
I don't know
Tikuya.
who these people are, but they're not doing it right.
Get on brand, right?
There's a theme, everyone. There's a theme. We have to team.
Pretty
with the
obvious.
theme.
It's
Hello.
called Ouzo Talk.
It's
I
called
know.
Ouzo- It's not called Vodka Talk.
It's our twist on the Graham Norton show. Like liquor everyone up.
I
and
love
then,
that. I love that. Me, the biggest lightweight. I'm going, just give me ligo. I'm going, anyway, it's going to be just as messy as your Christmas episode, maybe,
I'm sure. Well, maybe.
I don't know.
We'll try and
No,
be
no,
good.
no.
It's
that's
debatable.
Yes.
I'm going, you guys didn't invite me to that one with the lamb on the spit? Okay, I'll
well,
forgive you.
Could, if you want.
If you want to show up, absolutely.
If I'm not in Perth, maybe I will come back just to eat in the background. I won't be on the
and
podcast,
probably
but
giggle and laugh at us.
I can do that. I'm really good at that. I'm good at
Slap your
laughing.
forehead like, who are these guys?
These guys are buffheads. You'll just be like, where
I'll
the
do
fuck have I
commentary. I'll do commentary of the podcast.
I like
so
that,
funny.
actually.
Because we don't make sense. We start to slur our words halfway through.
There's a lot of editing
So I'll
in those
have to.
episodes.
So I'll be live
Translate.
editing, translating, live
Yeah.
editing. That's
what Nick's
beautiful.
trying to say here is
What I think they're trying to say. It's like David Attenborough almost. That's so funny.
You won't mansplain it, you will womansplain
Womansplain
it.
it, yeah.
For everyone.
and we're like the beasts in the background.
Yeah, that's
Eating.
nice.
I like it. There you go.
Well, it is Vimino. That's what we've got today. So that is
Beautiful.
from, and it is a lesbian drink.
Really?
It is. It's from Lesbos.
That's nice.
So
We're allies, obviously, on this podcast. We're allies for the lesbians, right?
course.
So that's why we have
We love
it.
it.
So that's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
The bottle comes courtesy of the Greek Providor. So greekprovidor.com.au, our fantastic sponsors, been on board since the very beginning.
Thanks, guys.
Always provide us with the drinks. Crystal is an absolute legend. Whatever you
What
need.
sweethearts. Oh, that's so nice.
And when you say from the beginning, from actually day one.
Day one of the
really?
Season
podcast.
one.
You guys went,
And
we're
when-
actually going to make a podcast that went good. We've got some Ouzo to give you. They didn't
Yeah.
even ask questions.
You know what? We've actually never told this story. It's interesting
Yeah.
because effectively we were like a startup, and so
Yes.
were they. And they were like, "Yeah, you
We
know
don't know
what?
what we're
We
getting
don't-
ourselves into.
Neither of us knew what we were
Yeah.
getting ourselves into, and it's like, fuck it, let's just try it and see what happens.
Isn't that beautiful?
And we're still together.
It's kind of like the history of like it's like Greek, mythology or something. I don't know. Isn't that like the history of everyone's like, let's just give it a go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Give it
History
a
of Greek Providor and Ouzo Talk.
Yeah, that's
Like
nice.
it.
I like that.
We're mythologizing about it now.
I'm trying to.
It's such a pivotal moment in our. It kind of is. because
That's
we wouldn't
nice.
be
This is
able
the
to do it.
origin story. This
That's
is
right.
like you guys it's
Well,
like
mythology gets better the more you drink.
yeah.
A
See,
bit more creative.
there you go.
Always comes back
And
to that.
and every episode, yeah. See, beautiful.
Yeah, well done.
This is like Olympus. Beautiful. Okay, amazing.
Fantastic.
All right, so yes, thank you to the Greek Providor for always supplying the drinks for us.
Beautiful. Crystal, you're a star. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Eloise, it's all about you today. How
It
good
is.
that?
No, it is.
Well, we've already acknowledged where you're from, Western Australia,
Yeah.
but we usually start with a tradition. We ask our guests where they're born, where they're from, your ancestors, your
Yeah.
parents, grandparents. So can we start where you were born and
so
your parents?
born in Perth, Western Australia. In Subiaco, I think most people are born
right.
there. My mum and dad also born in Perth, and I think probably in the same suburb actually, or maybe mum wasn't. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, parents were born both sides of the family, Northern Greek backgrounds. So my grandparents, well, actually, 3 out of the 4 grandparents born in Greece, one born in Australia, my mum's dad, but. Yeah, my family's from like the north, so like north of Florina. So we're talking like Polipotomo, which I was just there actually in September.
Oh, wow.
Visited the village where my grandfather grew up, and also Castoria, Florina, and I've also got relatives in Athens, but yeah. So, but everyone's, but I'm from.
But
the
you
north,
originally, your
basically.
ancestors are from that northern part
Yeah,
of
the
Macedonia.
northern part. Yeah, so I would say I'm Greek Macedonian, but I know people get funny about it. So I don't know if anyone listening is getting funny. I'm going, grow up. It's 2025.
Just say
You know what I
it's
mean?
your show
Like-
today. You can say whatever you like.
well, yeah, I actually can say whatever I like. But no, it's I would call my dad's parents Baba and Dedo. That's what I would call them.
So
and I
were
would
they
call,
in the Greek part or the North Macedonian part?
in the now it's the Greek part.
so
I guess.
where the border
So-
is now, they're in the Greek
Well,
bit.
yeah. So the
But they-
Polypotomo was called Nedet, and
Okay.
it's a bit. I know it gets complicated.
No,
and I don't
no,
want
it's
to.
interesting. We
Yeah,
like
I
all
think
this
it's really
stuff.
interesting
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they would. It's interesting when you go there. There are people that speak the old language, or they speak like the version of Macedonian that
Yeah.
my grandparents would speak, but obviously most people speak Greek now, and that's what they had to learn in school. So,
wow,
but I call
interesting.
my mum's mum. She's my only grandmother left. My yaya, I would call her yaya, but she's very. My parents are 9 years apart, so there's also like that thing of where. My yaya's like, we are Greek, and then Baba and Dero were like, no, we're Macedonian, and it was very like, okay. And so I would just say I was both. I mean, I'm not fluent in either. I can speak a little bit of. I went to
Yeah.
Greek school by choice, because I
Did you really?
yeah, by choice when I was like 12. Like, and
I didn't go by choice.
well, I went by
You
choice
wanted to go.
because I think I as I got older. I mean, my parents didn't really speak it at home. They would speak a bit of Maso to each other. My dad speaks it fluently, but then he went to Greek school. Like he's gone to learn Greek,
Yeah.
and Mum can speak a bit of both, and she can probably understand more than more than she admits. Like she's a bit humble. My mum, bless her. But my youngest sister, I've got 2 younger sisters, and the youngest one, she's like really learning, and she's
Wow.
her and her boyfriend also half Greek, so they really when we were away, thank God they were there because they were speaking most of it. Like I feel like I can read it really slow, like I read it like I'm a 2-year-old, and so I feel a bit like I wish I could speak it fluent. I think it would be amazing to be able to speak any language. I feel like I can speak a little bit Italian better, only because I've been to Italy a few times, over the last few years. I have Italian friends and cousins. It's much easier and to read. It's easier, and look, we've got similar words and things like language wise, but I think it would be great if I could speak Greek, and I think I have to make the effort. I do feel like if I had the time, I would do it every week. And being Northern Greek, there's a part of me that's like, I wish I knew the old language as well a bit better, but I probably only know swear words.
Yeah, of course. The important stuff.
The important stuff.
I think we all know the swear words, don't we?
Yeah, we should. Otherwise, it's like
languages.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so
it's the first thing you learn.
Exactly. But it was really nice to go back to like the village, so where my dad or my dad's dad grew up. It was I haven't been back since I was 20, so it was nice to go back and sort of, I don't know, just see. I know it's quite nice to go back when you're older. Like I'm 33 now, and so it was nice to go back and have a different appreciation for it, and almost a little bit emotional because my baba only passed away she passed away a few weeks before her 93rd birthday. Wow. So it was. Which was in July. Yeah. And so it was kind of like, oh, this is, it's nice to see like the people that they know and also just to be in the house and sort of go, oh God, we've come from this place and look what I don't know, it's almost have a new appreciation for it.
Did you ask your ancestors many questions that you caught up with? Like how far back your lineage goes?
Well, yeah, I guess we went to like, there's like a grave site and, you go see like the tombstones of like your family, and even like our last name I think was like shortened and different, and then they changed it to be, I thought it was Eftov or Eftovi, or like it wasn't Eftos. Okay. It was, I think, made to be, maybe it was I'm trying to remember, because then it was Eftopoulos. They made it longer. Right. So on my Greek passport, it says Eftopoulos. I got that this year as well. So that's almost like, also I was like, now I've got a Greek passport, and now I feel like I really have to learn the language because I can get the most out of it, right? But I think that like we have like family friends or aunties and uncles that are still there, so obviously get to ask them a few questions and things. But even I think it's really important, and I hope that if there's anyone listening that is my age or younger or even older and they still have grandparents around, like I think it's so important to just ask them questions before they get too old to sort of
we talk about this all the time.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like I would, because I also live away. Every time I would go visit, when it was obviously both grandmothers were alive, and now there's only Yaya left, my Yaya Sophia, which is also my middle name, so I feel this like connection with her. But I always ask them questions, and I would record on my phone. I always voice memo record the conversations and ask them questions that, I don't know, sometimes we probably ask things that are like, oh, what was it like? And, but I tried to get a little bit deeper with asking them questions about, were you scared to like get married? And were you scared to what happened when you came here? Like, what was it actually like? Like, I thought that, my grandmothers fell in love and they met my grandfathers and they went on dates and things, but it wasn't really like that. And I think that's quite fascinating that it was about almost like survival, and they came to a country that couldn't speak the language. And I really admire all of our grandparents, the men and the women, but there's something about the women that I find quite, this bravery, this like strength that they have is on another level. Like obviously it's quite, back then to do that I think is quite fascinating. Yeah.
I mean, even your mum, for example, the story you've told before on the podcast, Nick, coming out here and, like crying for the first few months and then managing to get it together because, it's such a different place.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, I couldn't work it out. She'd say she'd cry, but I didn't understand what she meant until I went to her village in Greece.
Wow.
Where it was all green and it was clean air and fresh water, and then she ended up in a place called Tempe, which is just
I know
down
Tempe,
the road.
yeah.
But back then in the 60s,
like
it was full of factories and smog and pollution, and the water didn't taste like water.
And they did it tough. Like it wasn't like they moved. Like my grandmothers didn't live in like nice, near the beach when they first got there. Like it wasn't like this. Wow, we're in Australia. It was, and it is like that. When I went back to the village, it was like, God, this beautiful small. Like, I don't know, the simplicity of it is so beautiful. They didn't have much, but they made it work, and you kind of go, And I kind of see why. I think it's quite fascinating how people, because it's something that I criticize, but I also understand, and I try to understand. And I think I want to talk about it a little bit more in my next show, like this holding on to old tradition and not really like progressing because it was holding on to something that was all they had. And, there's a part of me that's like, oh, I feel lucky that I've moved away from home because I can find my independence. It's almost like what my yaya did. The way that she criticized me when I was moving to Sydney, like, you know, the stories they tell you, like cautionary tales, like, don't get in a taxi because someone will come and take your wallet and then you never see and you're like, what is this story? Like, she just made up a story.
Catastrophizing
everything. But then I think about what they did and I was like, that was so much harder and so much more scary. But then I also kind of understand that it was nice. It's nice for me to move away and be independent and not be, I don't know, there's something about community that I think is so important about our heritage. It's really nice to know that even me doing comedy or, you know, acting, to know that there's Greek people that will just come and see me because I'm of Greek heritage is quite a beautiful thing. It's like, I support you because you come from this motherland, like come from the same place, and I want you to do well. I'm going to support you in any way that I can. Like, I've got relatives here that I'm going to get dinner with after this, and it's so nice to know that I had them here as like support. But then I also think that there's a part of it that is really hard when you're back home, like in Perth, being be quite small, and it's almost like there are positives and negatives to having this community that's quite this village mentality. Don't wear this, don't do that. It's almost like me breaking away is why I got to make my own path and own, I don't know, even my show, Australia's First Attractive Comedian, was my observations of how people responded to my comedy and what I wore on stage and stuff. And I almost was like, it's something that I have to still overcome, like the shame of like not shaming the family or, you know, but I also think that's part of that. Yeah.
But is that still now, like in 2025?
Yeah, I think so.
Still now?
I think that it's still a thing.
So I understand in the 80s and 90s it was a bit like that, but I think it's quite modern now. But
I guess it's your story. I feel like, I think that you're right, that like it is better, but I also think that it depends on where, I don't know, I feel like sometimes maybe it's Perth, maybe I'm talking about
Could we just touch on Perth before we move on? Just a bit about Perth. So your grandparents arrived by ship, do you know?
It would have been by ship. And then
how'd they end up in Perth? Because most Greeks ended up in Melbourne or Sydney.
Well, I think that my yaya had a cousin that was living in Perth, and she was, I think, supposed to go to Melbourne, but then got off the ship early. But then there's cousins that are here and in Sydney, and we do have cousins in Melbourne as well. But for some reason, she ended up in Perth, and same with I don't know why Perth exactly, but I know with my yaya, it was like 3 months on a boat, and then she just got off because her cousin, I think, was there, and that was the connection, to have someone there and someone to stay with, and then she basically stayed with him until. This is the story that I find so fascinating to me, especially with modern dating these days. As a single woman, I was like, "How did you meet Dero?" Like, you know, and she said that she was at a dance. She was like, "I was at the dance, and it was all the Greeks and Macedonians, you know," and she was saying how she was at the dance. She goes, Dero saw me across the room, not say hello, but then the next day he come to my cousin's house and he knock on the door and say, "I want to marry Sofia." Wow. And I went, "What?" I went, "What are you talking about?" And I was like freaking out. It made me really like upset. I went, "What do you mean?" And then she said, "My cousin say he seemed like a nice man, so I say, okay." And then she goes, "I went to a cafe down the road and met him the next day, and then it was like they were engaged, and then they dated for like a few months, but they would only go to the movies, which I was quite romantic. And I was like, "Did you have a kiss?" She was like, "Sometimes." I went, "Oh, like I didn't know you were allowed to do that." Like this. And then they got married, and I was like, "Oh my God, that was it. That's how it was." It was on, but it was survival. It was like that. It would probably have been 5 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe, but even the fact that she was
long.
But
back then.
And even if anyone listening is from Perth, this is, you know, he lived. My dad had a house in, you know, he was out in like Wanneroo, Marangaroo. And it wasn't as far as this other guy that was interested in her that lived in, and Yaya says Gelator, which means Geraldton.
Oh, classic.
Bless her. But it's just so funny that it was about, did he have a house? Did he have a job? How far away did he live? Like, was he a nice man? I hope so. And it's kind of spooky that that's what it was like.
It's not convenience, it's practicality.
It was practicality. It was about survival. And my grandfather passed away quite young. He was in his, I think, 50s, late 50s, but Yaya never remarried, or like, you know, she loves him and she doesn't even want to move out of the house where they grew up, where they, you know, made their family and made their home. And it's just like this, it's very fascinating to me that it's very different, and they made it work, but you almost go, "Oh my God, it was such a different time." Like I also think my parents, like their meetings, not that different to that scenario.
Oh, really?
Like it is, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's just very, very fascinating.
Yeah, wow.
Coming to a country, not knowing the language and going, okay, like, because that's what they had to do.
I mean, so many of those stories that we hear, we've mentioned it before, they didn't even know where they were coming. It's like Australia, I don't know where that is. I don't know what the climate is.
Just get me the hell out of whatever this is.
Pretty
because
much.
It was the war. That was at the time. Learning more about the war and stuff. I don't remember the exact year. Oh God, I'm the worst. I'm going, oh God, I haven't got my notes. I should have got my cliff notes for the.
That's fine.
But no, but it was.
Sort of been like late 1950s.
Well, I'm thinking
early
it was
1960s.
about that. But yeah, my baba, she refused, or she did go back to the village, but she hated the thought of going back because all she could remember was people getting their heads blown off and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like it wasn't a nice memory.
The Civil War was pretty
it was horrible.
fierce,
And then you think, no wonder they wanted to escape. And then they come here and then, you hear the stories of your mum like crying because it was like, why did I have to leave my beautiful... It wasn't even probably by choice.
Yeah.
It was, even... My dad's great-grandfather, I think, went over and it's like didn't see the kids and wife for years, but sending money back. He probably, I don't know how many of these guys had like second families and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what?
Crazy.
There are lots of stories like that.
Oh, they probably did. It was like because they had to survive. Probably weren't allowed to cook food or something. I don't know.
How
do
good,
their dishes or whatever.
How good were the telephone calls when they called back to the village? On
the one telephone.
Hello, can you hear me?
Exactly. It was it's a very fascinating the way that I look at what all of our grandparents and great grandparents did and it's incredible. It's like so amazing that they
I think the older you get, you appreciate it more.
Absolutely.
When you're younger, you don't realise.
You're going, okay, imitate my yaya's
It's embarrassing.
voice
I don't want to be known with you
Well,
guys.
yeah, it's like I feel very. It's also I think sometimes a conflict of like I'm really proud, but I also, I guess you guys. I don't know if you felt this way. I know my parents talk about like being bullied and being treated in a different way and being made to feel.
I was embarrassed to be Greek.
Of course, you wouldn't want.
We
people
learned how to
to
serve. We're playing rugby league. We wanted to distance ourselves from it.
Which is
but
so
the older
sad.
you get, we've embraced it. Like we've got a podcast out of it. Now,
which is so nice, because also I remember my dad. I actually don't know if you guys will remember when this shift happened. I mean, I'm sure you guys are younger than my dad, but Dad was talking about. I was like, what happened when? Because obviously people were pretty like hectic about hating wogs. It was pretty heavy, pretty racist. And that's all of a sudden changed, and obviously we're white presenting, so like of course. But I was like, "What happened, Dad? Why did it shift?" And he goes, "I reckon it was in the 70s. The Godfather movies changed the way that people thought about Italians or any of us
Greeks.
wogs and Greeks because." Being the Godfather was cool and Al Pacino was cool. John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever. He was saying that no one used to drink wine, no one used to do the double kisses and stuff. It was almost like people wanted to be a part. Now you can charge like $40 for like an antipasto or like a meze.
How much would this
cost? You know what I mean? Like, but it's like that change of even fashion. Dad was like, no one
quality.
would.
Food, fashion.
But no one would even eat Italian food or drink Italian wine or Greek food, Greek wine. And then all of a sudden something changed and he was like, I think it was like the pop culture, like it was cinema, changed the way that people thought about, which I actually think is so fascinating. I would love to like, I have a background in filmmaking and journalism and I'm like, it would be fascinating
You're
to make
one
a
of my
little...
people.
Sorry, remember Happy Days with Arthur Fonzarelli?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, even him as a character, or just, I think Travolta being like, he was a bit of like a, he was the heartthrob in like the dancer, and I think it must have changed the way people saw, like ethnics, you know.
It's an interesting cultural study. Someone must have written something about it.
I'm like, that is fascinating to me. Because now I think it's like, it's very cool that we have, I think people see it as, I know that my friends that are, skips or, come from just English background are like, oh, I wish that I, had this thing. And it's like, well, I guess we just grew up with it, And we obviously came from a time when I remember my dad almost being like, because my grandmother, my baba, speaking of the way that like village mentality things, I found this really fascinating, that I think that there's so many positives of it. I don't know if you guys agree with this. There's also like negatives in the sense of like gossiping, people talking shit about each other. It's like there are negatives. 100%. And I remember my grandmother, like she made my grandfather move them out of a woggy area because it was just getting a little bit too, people were a bit, gossipy and not very nice. And they moved, like my dad, who was like, we were like the only wogs at school because it was like we wanted to assimilate. And it made me quite sad when my baba passed away that I was like, oh, I wish that I knew the language more, because over generations it's like we're embarrassed of this thing. We don't want our kids to speak this language, and we don't want them. Do you know what I mean?
on its head.
Yeah, and it's so sad. It's like this thing as the grandparents pass away. It's like we're clutching onto this cultural relevancy and trying to find it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And not
but there's
lose
something
it.
about that village gossip you talk about, because I've read it in articles as well now. So especially in Ikaria, apparently it's part of longevity. So if you're living in this community and you makes your blood boil and you're angry and you want to respond and it keeps your cognitive ability going, apparently it's all something to do with living longer as on top of the food and, walking up hills and the clean air and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So
it's very interesting.
It is.
Something artificial to be mad about on a daily basis.
It's so
the gossip keeps you younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. It's very interesting. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to seize on though earlier. Like, you spoke about the fact that the way that generation left is the way that they kind of still are because they're holding on to that. Is that something that's sort of punctuated or sort of underpinned a lot of your time growing up?
Yeah, I think it has it's indoctrinated, but you don't even know. You probably don't even know it, but it's like there. Yeah. And it's sort of this thing of we're trying to grow and be Australian, but also hold on to this thing. And it's kind of, what are we holding on to? Though, are we holding on to like shame, like shaming women, or like are we holding on to like men having to be men? And like I don't know. I think it's an interesting discussion. I think it's quite like fascinating that when I moved away, it was kind of like I found this independence, but I'm sure that they felt that way when they moved to Australia or moved to America or the UK. But also holding on to these traditions and things is what makes you, like, I'm not really religious, but there's something about going to church that makes me feel quite special in the sense of like community and being like, this is cultural. This is cultural and it's special. Like there's almost beautiful things about, like, I think the churches look so beautiful. I think they're aesthetically beautiful. I don't know if I believe in everything they say, you know what I mean? Like, as in, especially being a woman and be trying to be, I don't know, progress in life and like be feminist and I talk about that in my show, like about like the changing way that people sort of like, I don't know, try and police women about what we do and what we say, and I think it's a really interesting topic.
Do you feel, being a woman, do you feel like you're getting policed and judged?
I do feel like that's sort of where my show came from. It was me sort of my observations of within comedy, but I think it's a broader subject about how not only within comedy but in society in general, people are very quick to judge women in general, but also if you're, the way that I performed on stage was like this confident persona that sort of just came out, and it was, I don't know, probably a hybrid of me emceeing these like sort of cabaret shows where it was like, you know, it's like burlesque, sexy cabaret, and it was sort of me being like, you can't touch us and like we're better than you, and it was sort of this don't fuck with us attitude. But there was something about doing high status as a woman. I felt like it was so interesting how the audience and even the other comedians would treat me, because they were so I don't know, almost offended, or it was quite abrasive for them to see a woman sort of, because I would go on stage and be like, I'm way too hot to do this. All the comedians are so gross. And I think people got really like, and of course I'm joking, and I would say like I'm Australia's first attractive comedian. That's where the show came from, was me calling myself that as a joke, and then people losing their minds.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We're foodies at heart at Ouzo Talk, which is why we love the Greek providor. Get a real taste of the very best produce that Greece has to offer. From olive oils and delicious artisan sweets, to earthy herbs, memorable wines, warming spirits and more. All made by passionate, independent farmers and producers from across Greece. So whether you're looking to fill your pantry or buy a special gift for a loved one, the Greek providor has you covered. Visit thegreekprovidor.com.au today and bring Greece home.
Because the heaven forbid a woman goes out and thinks she's attractive or like thinks that she's funny or knows that she's intelligent. And I found it just like a very interesting thing about society in general. And it wasn't just men like commenting, it was women. It was other women as well going, you shouldn't wear that on stage and you shouldn't say that and you shouldn't call yourself that. And I was kind of like,
shouldn't
why?
be at a comedy show.
Exactly, right? And I just found it really,
as soon as you cross that line and you're in a comedy sort, mate,
it's all fair
anything
game.
goes.
Totally. And I agree with that. And it was just
you can't
really,
get offended.
no,
Otherwise,
totally.
don't go.
And I think it's another comment on tall poppy syndrome and the way that Australians are very, that's our culture, is like, don't bring your head down, which I think is also a bit village mentality. It kind of came from I think I read something that came from like the Law of Jaunt, which I don't know if it was like it's like a Danish thing, but I also don't think that the Greeks are that far off of having a similar thing of like, don't think you're too good, come back down. Like it's like tall poppy syndrome. You got to cut your head off.
Like there's that difference between sort of, let's use English and US comedy, for example.
Totally.
So the US comedy, the protagonist is always going to be confident.
Yeah.
They're the protagonist.
Yes.
The UK comics generally are the guy, beating themselves up in the corner sort of
Totally, yes.
How much of
some
that?
of them. I mean, some of them. I also think that, like, I was really inspired by Ricky Gervais quite early on. He does such high status. Even Jimmy Carr, he's quite high status. But they also make fun of it. Also, these are all men that I'm mentioning. Even in Australia, we do have high status comedians. We've got Tom Gleeson, Ronnie Cheng. He's high status, obviously originally from Australia, but now he's overseas. But I think I saw this US comic, Natasha Leggero, who's incredible, and she does high status. And I think when I saw her, I'm a big comedy nerd, and when I saw her do stand up, I was like, oh, I could do that. Like it was almost, she made me feel like I wanted to do, because all I would see was women talking down about themselves on stage, because that is easier. Yeah. It's easier to go on stage as a man, as a woman, with sexuality, whatever have you, it is easier to fall on your sword and put yourself down, because the audience pities you and they laugh because you're, of course, you do look like that, Whereas I do the opposite, which, I mean, I sound like my persona, which is way harder than what anyone else does. What I do is harder than what anyone else does, but it is like, it's not like, I'm a huge fan of Mary Custis, and Effie was one of my first impressions I ever learned. Like, I'm a huge fan of Effie, and it's funny because Effie as a character, she does talk about how good she is, but there's also, she's wearing a big wig, and she's also a lower socioeconomic character. Whereas I was on stage, I go on stage and I wear like a little dress, and people are like, wait a minute, are you joking? Like, are you? And I think the fact that I'm not wearing a wig, I'm not Dame Edna, I'm not a man in drag, rubs people the wrong way. And I found it so interesting. I was like, why is it so funny for me to go on stage and basically talk like Tom Gleeson does, but I look like this, and that upsets you because I'm conventionally at a young, whatever, and people don't have to think that I'm attractive, but me saying it is what makes it quite funny for me.
The interesting thing, you mentioned Mary there.
Yeah.
That's Mary's comment. I mean, Mary spoke about it. That's Mary's comment on our community, and I feel like you're doing the same thing for a different reason.
Totally.
But I guess the question is, what's the reason for you? What's your why?
I think for me, the reason is it's a social, it's kind of like a comment. There's a lot in my show that not just about my stand-up persona, it's about in general the way that we police women, I think, and also as women, how we sort of police ourselves. This whole idea of there's only one type of way that we should be, and it's kind of, I'm sort of damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I think any woman is. It's kind of this thing of, if I'm too quiet, I'm this. If I'm too loud, I'm this. It's sort of, why is it so bad for me to talk about what I want to talk about? Or why is it so bad for me to wear what I want to wear? I'm not hurting anyone. But I think that for me, it's a comment on feminism. It's a comment on the way that men, I think, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I think the comedy scene is sort of what it's mostly about, right? And about how it's a male-dominated industry that women, we still don't really feel that welcome in it. It's not like we're completely open arms. Like, it's not like we've got so much progression to do, especially in Australia. I think we're still behind. I feel like when I'm in the UK, they're like miles ahead of us when it comes to like lineups with diversity, But I think it was my comment on comedy, the comedy scene, and women sort of having this internalized misogyny and talking about other women and saying that we're not allowed to do certain things because you're degrading women, or you're not doing the right thing. And it's kind of, I'm doing this because I like wearing these clothes, or I like talking about this, and it's not gonna hurt anyone. I'm not hurting anyone doing this.
Is it biographical at all? Like, for you, like, how much of this? I mean, I call it a persona,
but it is me. It's like a heightened version. I think I don't know if I explained. Sorry, I feel like I'm like the Ouzo. I'm going, am I talking right? I feel like I can't even say what my show's about. But it's sort of like, for me, the persona is like a heightened version of me. So like, it is me, but I also feel like all the characters I play as well, they're like these caricatures of male fantasies. Like, I play like a bookworm and like a bartender, and it's sort of this idea of, we're all told like to be a certain way for like a male validation and all this kind of thing. And I think it's kind of all bullshit. Like, just do whatever you like, as long as you're not hurting anyone and doing I don't know. It's for me, it's about the fact that women have been told to lessen themselves and be small. And I have been told that. And I think that's what it is, autobiographical.
Is that how you feel? Like you've been society around you or your environment? You've been
I think that I think all women feel that way.
Really?
And I think if they don't, I think they're lying. I think that they've been indoctrinated to think that they don't feel that way. Do you know what I mean? Like I think we all have been treated in a way that's like every woman you know has been like abused in the street, walking down the street. Like everyone has these like these horrible experiences. Maybe they don't talk about it. Maybe they've suppressed it. It's almost like we've been told, oh, that's the way society is, so like get over it. So that's why you shouldn't dress like that. You shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't you know, do all these, like to be in a male dominated industry and go on stage and go, I'm better than everyone else here, that's for me is so punk rock and like so, I don't know, that for me is groundbreaking because we've always been told like be a people pleaser and go, oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. And it's like, why am I, why, do you know what I mean? Like, why can't I say, like I am
how
allowed to be.
How empowering is it though for you? Like how much confidence does it give you, even if it does start as like a persona?
Well, that's the thing. It is for me. It's like for me the persona is like a affirmation. Yeah, she's almost what I wish I was like in real life. I wish I was like that all the time. I wish I could go around and go, I don't care what people think. Yeah, because I think especially women have been indoctrinated to worry about what people think. Like we've been conditioned to be people pleasers, so that men don't hate us or hurt us, and I think that is what's empowering for me is going on stage and being this persona and being so confident that I can say and do whatever I want. And then I think that is what I hope that I can be more like, maybe not to extreme, like obviously it's really fun to take it to that extra level, but in real life I'm a very anxious person and I wish that I was a little bit more, I don't know, like I wish that I could be more like that in real life and go, I'm going to say how I feel and not worry about what people think or, you know, be worried about how I come across or whatever. Because I think that is something, like I'm doing it to an extreme, but I think that is something that women still have to overcome.
And that's what I was going to ask you though. Have there been instances where guys have maybe missed the point completely?
Oh yeah. Even women,
Really?
It doesn't matter gender-wise. I think unfortunately mostly women and gay men and queer men are my audience, which is great. And I think it's great because they usually will buy tickets. I don't think, which is so funny.
And get your tickets now.
Yeah, get your tickets now. But I think that there are times when people don't know that it's like a joke or they don't get what I'm trying to say. It's sort of it's very interesting for me. That's kind of part of the bit. So when they don't get it, I'm like, oh, you're just proving my point that you don't like me because I'm a confident woman on stage. Yeah. Which is so, and also I'm sure you guys, I mean, I don't think you guys are like this. I'm saying there are a majority of people that don't like when a woman or a man goes on stage and goes, I'm better than you. And I find it really interesting. I think it's really,
I think
really
we both found you quite funny when we saw you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that night, actually.
Oh my God, that was so silly.
But I have to say,
night.
Sorry to say, but there was, who was the other guy? What was he? I forget his name.
Oh, Chris Demos.
I love how you knew it straight away.
I couldn't stop. I had a sore stomach laughing.
Oh my God, he's so funny. He's one of my best friends. He's amazing.
We have. Who were we talking? It was with Anthony, I think.
Was it Anthony?
Yeah, it was Anthony.
He's so funny.
We cracked up for about 5 minutes later, and I had tears running down my eyes.
Oh my God.
And I looked up at Tom, and he was the same.
Yeah, I was fucked.
He's so funny. He's such a sweetheart. I love Chris. Shout out Chris. But he's amazing.
But your show was great. It was good.
Oh,
we enjoyed it. We had a good laugh. It was funny, and we know because we've been to comedy shows before.
Yeah.
Don't get personal with it. We don't anyway. But the crowd that had
oh my God, the crowd was really interesting.
Yeah.
But you could see that they were a bit. They were a little bit, but that's
split the room.
But which is also for me. My favorite thing about my comedy is that it's quite, I'm going to sound so like my persona, it's quite highbrow. So it's quite meta. So if people don't get it, it's almost like the best feeling when half the room's like, why are they laughing? Why are they laughing? And it's almost the most satisfying part for me is I don't want everyone
miss the punchline.
Yeah, I don't. It's like I don't want dumb people to get my comedy, and that's why even on stage I'll be like, if you're not laughing, you're obviously ugly. Like you can't relate. If you're laughing, you're hot. Yeah, and you get what it's like to live like me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that for me is so funny. Like which is where all the inspo came from my show. It's like, I don't want to do comedy and walk on stage and talk about how much I hate myself, because I think that's what people want us to do. Not just women. I think for me, it's about women, because I think we've got a lot to overcome. I think that. But I think also, you know, it's not nice to go around being like, I hate myself, which is also, if people want to do self-deprecating humour, they can. But I think
there's a place for that.
Yeah, there is. But also, that's all we've had. Yeah. I think that's why. Yeah, and I think that's why in Edinburgh I broke through and I was nominated for Best Newcomer, because I was doing something different. Men do this style of comedy all the time, and they talk about how good they are. But when a woman does it, people go, that can't be a joke. That can't be a joke. She actually thinks that she's better than us. You know what I mean?
Do you get those people in the actual show? Or is it people who see a clip and they comment?
No, I think people will comment. I think people already, because this is what I was trying to, oh my God, I'm going, you guys are going to have to edit what I've said, because I'm going, I did not explain it very well. But I'm going, the bloody Ouzo.
Do you want another Ouzo?
No more. You guys can. But no, it's funny, because already to be in an industry, which I think is, from my experience as a woman, there's so many industries where we're not really welcome. They're male dominated, but comedy especially is male dominated. So even audiences, they'll see a woman walk out on stage, they already expect her not to be funny, because they already don't want a woman to be there, which is already something
tough.
It's tough. It's really tough. And that's what I find really interesting, is that I don't think that everyone wants you to fail, but there are people in the crowd going, here we fucking go. Here's a woman, you know, that's the consensus. Women aren't funny, which so funny. I just did shows at the Opera House, and that was the name of the show, and it was like the funniest women, and we sold out every night. It was the most wild crowds. But
was this in Scotland?
No, this is just here at the Opera House. This weekend. Okay. But even, and it's just funny that's already a prejudice that people have. Then you go out and you're not dressed in like jeans, because back in the day when people would start comedy, they had to fit into this male-dominated industry. They didn't want to be ogled backstage. They didn't want, they wanted to be part of this boys' club. So then post-Me Too, my act is very post-Me Too, because I was like, I'm going to wear this little dress, and if you guys do anything, I'll ruin your life. I'll ruin your life.
But seriously.
No, seriously, but like, try me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a bit that. It's like, but it's also just a bit, I think that people misinterpreted Me Too, and they're like, oh, you can't see anything these days. It's like, no, you guys know what you can say. I think some men are just a little bit like, oh, now I don't know what I can say. It's like, just don't like grab a woman's ass and like talk about her. But like, it's pretty obvious what you can say. Like, I just think it's funny that, me dressing like that, people are like, you shouldn't wear that, because people, I was told, don't be dress too sexy on stage. The women in the crowd with you are trying to fuck their husbands. This is in Australia.
Oh, right. Like, say, Opera House.
Just like, just like at gigs, like female comedian friends going, don't dress too sexy on stage. The women in the crowd will be threatened by you, and they'll think you're trying to fuck their husbands. And I went, I'm okay. I'm not trying to. I'm not out here hunting for prey. I'm not a male comedian.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't do comedy to get laid. You know what I mean? Like, I look like this. You know?
Yeah.
Silly.
Classic.
But even that, like, that's where all the jokes came from. It was people being like, you shouldn't do that.
Good
the crowd's
material
going to
for you, though.
exactly. And that's where the show came from. And even me calling myself Australia's first attractive comedian was a joke. And then it was really funny. People lost their fucking minds. Like it was the worst thing I could say. And then people going, that's really rude to other female comedians. I never said female.
Yeah.
I never said female.
How did the Scottish crowd find you?
Oh,
what was it
in
like?
Edinburgh, it attracts not just Scottish, but the Scots are amazing. They're the best. The UK crowds, the best I've ever had. They're the best crowds you'll ever have. I feel like, look, I love
always say that.
It's the best. They're so comedy savvy in the UK. I don't think it's true for probably my friends in London are like, well, wait till you do regional gigs in, probably there's probably places that's not like this, but in London and Edinburgh,
we're really behind.
We are behind, and I have some amazing
Is that
fans
population,
here.
do you think, maybe?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's what we're exposed to, and I think that we don't really. I don't think that we're very savvy in our comedy, because on TV it's like, look, I love so many of the comedy legends that we have on TV, but it's not like there's new talent always shown or like coming through. Like, it's pretty slow. Yeah. And it's sort of, people go like, they think that this one style of comedy is it. There's not really as much happening, or like people don't really go out and see comedy as much as which I don't know if that's because of the way that their weather, like they go out and they go see shows more because they have terrible weather and they have to go and like cozy into
Possibly.
that could be it. We've got the sun, you go down the beach,
We don't have like that indoor environment.
No, which
We're
we don't
outdoors.
really have that. And I think it was so amazing to do the show. And it was like I found another audience that got it on a whole other level. It was like even better.
So can you talk us through? So you landed in Scotland, was Edinburgh?
No, I landed in London, caught the train up to Edinburgh.
Yep.
And so the festival goes for a month. You're on every night except for one night. You have one night
How
off.
long are you on for?
So I do an hour show.
Solid hour. That's
Yeah,
pretty
solid
big.
hour. Yeah. So, and that's my show, Australia's First Attractive Comedian. And so I toured that from January till I think it was July around Australia, New Zealand.
Do you still get nervous?
I sometimes, you know what I find really funny, maybe like I'm not religious, but I feel like it's important to talk about with, some Greeks, is that I'm not religious, but before I go on stage, there are times when I still get nervous. Sometimes not, but sometimes I do. And when I do, well, just in general, it's almost like a superstition thing, but probably my yaya going, do the cross because it will, no one can give you the eye. It's like me protecting myself from the mati, if anything.
Yes.
I'm wearing one right now.
Oh, wow.
It's literally, I will do the cross before I go out on stage, sometimes 3 times, it's almost like a centering thing. And it's like me going, thank you. And like to protect myself. It's not to God or whatever. It's just me being like, I'm doing this so that, I don't know, it almost centers
It's like
me.
a superstition. Because
It's
I know with
superstition thing.
footballers that put their right sock on
Totally.
and their left sock on, something
It's
like
become
that.
like a superstition for me, which I think I'm very superstitious because of my grandmothers, bless
But you
them.
have had mati on stage, I hear.
Well, I feel like sometimes I've worn it, sometimes I've stopped wearing it because I'm almost like, regardless, I'm going to be okay. But there are like, what I found with Edinburgh that was really interesting, it was almost like my show, it was like the meta-ness of my show, like happening in real life. People were like, you're going to have the worst time in Edinburgh. It's really fucked up. And
Who's
like,
saying that?
because other comedians, because they do have a shit time.
Because they've had a bad run.
Yeah, so there'll be times when people get 3 people in or they have to cancel shows because they have no sales. Like the smallest crowd I had was about 10 people on the second preview and it was all women, which I want my comedy to be for everyone. Obviously, I'm talking about the feminism of my act and stuff, but I think that what I found really beautiful was that I had a vast diversity of people in my audiences, but so this one preview night, there was just 10 women in and it threw me a bit because I tease men in the show because I'm making examples of them and it's in jest, but I'm also making examples and if men aren't fragile, they take it very well and they like it. But
I think you picked on me, didn't you?
Oh my God, yes, I do remember this. I do remember this.
You pricks threw me under the bus too. You said it was what did they say? He said that it was a Bucks night.
Oh,
It was not.
And that was so, because you guys were all wearing those shirts, which is so, but for me, it's like, I'm being playful. I think
Well, I
it's
try
like,
to deflect it off me. It's his Bucks.
yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good riffing, very quick. But for me, it's really what I found. So that night with just 10 people, all women, I was like editing the show as I went. So I was a bit like, oh God. And that was the smallest crowd
So you
I had.
ad-lib as you go a lot.
Yeah. So, but then I felt like, so that was, what I found really interesting, there was one woman in the crowd and she was really like negging me and being really kind of like giving me a bit of lip. And I was like, wow, it's really interesting.
Scottish?
No, she was,
Really?
I think English, but really funny how even my act and my comedy can be so jarring for people. It's really, it's like this show is about women. It's about my experience as a woman and I'm trying to help you. But she took it as almost like I was a threat and I was, a bad person. It was really weird the way she interpreted it. But after that night, I didn't have I had always a full room. I worked really, really fucking hard on this show. So I'll say that first. I worked really hard on this show. It's been like years in the making. Some of the material in this show is some of the first I've ever written. I did have a director on board. So after I debuted it last year, got a director on board and just like heightened everything. So when the Scotsman talks about me not wearing very much, I end the show dancing as like a fembot. And it's my example of like, is this the male fantasy? Is this what people want? They don't want me to talk like this on stage. Is this what they want? And I have like a smoking bra, like the smoke that comes out of my bra. It's like Austin Powers. It's very incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. But that's what but I'm making an example. I'm not doing this because I want, men to ogle me. I'm trying to make, there's underlying messages. What I found, there was one example in Edinburgh It was the first weekend, but I was talking about being nervous.
Yeah.
Every night, because people will be like, there's going to be nights where you want to give up comedy forever and it's really fucked up and Edinburgh's going to ruin your life kind of thing. So every night I'd go backstage, setting up all my props and things. I play different characters, so I have wigs and things to set up. And I'd get this nervous thing of like, is tonight going to be the night? I'm going to have the worst show of my career. But it never happened. But there was a night on the first weekend and I walked out and I opened the show doing Basic Instinct. I start the show as Sharon Stone. And I go out and all I could see, and obviously my poster from my show is very Bond. It's an homage to the Dr. No poster, the yellow and red. And I love, the B movie. Like I love old movie posters. I'm obsessed with them, and I'm a film buff. So, and it's me in the Ursula Andress like white bikini and as like Barbarella and all these different characters. And I walked out though, and there was a part of me that was like, I wonder what this, because I obviously have followers here in Australia. And so, there are predominantly women that come to my shows and they'll bring partners and stuff, women and gay men. But I walked out this night and it was the first Saturday, I think, and it looked like it was just rows of men and maybe like one or two women in this and it's tiered seating, so you can't see everyone at the top. But I was like, holy shit, like, oh my fuck, what have I fucking done? Like, what? Oh my God. And the shame happens. It's almost like the little Greek girl in me is going, see what you've done? See, bad girl, you shouldn't have done that on your poster. What have you done? What have you done? This is what I mean by what we still hold on to, right? Which I want to delve into in my next show a little bit more. But I sat down, I did the Basic Instinct, bit, and it starts the show and I'm kind of going, oh my, here we go. Like, I have to do the show. But I was pretty staunch. I start to get, because that's the beauty of doing my persona is like, she is very, again, it is me, but it's something about, there's something almost comes over me. It's almost like Beyonce, Sasha Fierce. It's like a alter ego. I feel like I can get really staunch and be really like, I can say whatever I want. So I'm on stage being like, what is this? Like a fucking Ku Klux Klan meeting? Like all these white men? Like, what the fuck is this? What do you guys think this is? Like, I'm being really staunch and I'm going, and I'm judging the audience and I'm kind of doing my bits and it's going well. And I do these little things and I tease the men in the crowd. And I found out later on there was queer, beautiful, queer audience members in the back, but really funny that as that night went on, I was kind of going, and bring your wives next time. And this show's about feminism, so strap in and like being really staunch. Yeah. And the show went really well. And that's the first night I got a standing ovation.
Really?
And they walked out, these men, these middle-aged Scottish and English men, these big men, shaking my hand. Because after the shows, I would always do this it's very fringy to like shake everyone's hand and say thank you for coming. And because they don't know me, I'm nobody there. Yeah. And I had that mentality because I think people probably think that I went over there going, I'm Australia's first attraction. It's like, no, I walked into Edinburgh going, I am no one and I am going to fail here. This is not, I'm here to build up something. People don't know me here. But then the way that these men would come up and shake my hand and go, that was so thought-provoking. Thank you so much. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the asshole. Like, I'm judging them. Like, I want my comedy to be accessible to everyone. It is not just for women and just for queer men. Women walk out of my show saying thank you so much because I vocalize what they've always felt or what they've always thought. Like, there's a lot of women in comedy that I'm friends with walk out crying from the ending of the show. It's a funny show, but it's quite dark, the ending of the Fembot. And it's just interesting that these men took the message. Like, I had all these reviews from men saying on the Edinburgh pages going, there's so many layers to this act and to this comedy. And then the word got out and then the shows started to pick up. I started to sell out, which is a big deal for your first run. And then as the time, I got really great reviews, which was amazing from Scotsman and Guardian and etc. And then I got nominated for Best Newcomer. I'm the first Australian woman to be nominated, which is for Best Newcomer. Crazy, and I never expected that, and It was a dream run, but I hustled really hard. So after I would do the show for an hour, I would go do 2 or 3 spots at like other comedy clubs just so that they could see me. Yeah. Sometimes I would perform as the Fembot, or I would just do stand-up, or I would do like, I don't know, a silly sketch thing or improv show or whatever, but just anything for people to see me. And then I would flyer and make sure I go, hello, do you want to come and see? I'm just from Australia. I'm Australia's first attractive comedian. I'm dressed as the Basic Instinct and I'm walking around with my cigarette and everyone's going, who is this? Like, no one knows who I am. And
was it cold? Was it winter? winter?
You know what? It wasn't too. It is summer, but this year it was actually quite warm.
Okay.
It was actually really interesting how warm it was. Global warming, I'm going. It was global warming, all right. I was like, wow. So that was It was a
gets cold
dream.
up there.
It does. Well, at night, definitely always had a jacket, but there was definitely times when I was like, okay, it's quite warm this year, because I went last year just to suss it out and go for a week, and that made me feel like, oh, I could do this. So
can I get away with the Fembot outfit?
yeah,
in this weather?
I know. Well, there was times when people were like, you should fly her in the Fembot. I went, that's a bit too much to fly her in the Fembot. I go, let them pay tickets to see that. But also the funniest part about Edinburgh is like I had the most successful run you could have for a newcomer. Most people do like the whole month. So you do every night, you have one night off, as well as like the extra shows on top. And as I explained, like the award nomination, the reviews, like that's like a dream run. Like if to do Edinburgh for the first time, to be nominated is the best. The best thing other than that would be to win the nomination. But for me, there's only 5 people to get nominated out of thousands of shows, and to be one of the 5.
Amazing.
And I think the first... I know that I'm the first Australian woman, and I think the first Australian to be nominated since like 2016, which was Nath Alvo.
Wow.
One of the most physically and mentally draining things I've ever done in my life, but also it's one of the biggest career-changing moments in my life. From that, I made like £11 from doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I made 11 quid. But for me, it's not about the money. It's like an investment. It's so expensive to do this festival that it's about the exposure. Yeah. And for me to have that outcome...
in that market, it means something huge.
It is so big. The way that, because then after that, you don't have to be nominated to get a run at Soho Theatre in London, but because I got the run, I got the nomination. Sorry, they gave me a week. It was five shows at Soho Theatre London, and just even that, like, sold those out. Incredible response. Like, got to do auditions for shows and got to open for Auntie Donna at the Apollo, and I was doing all these things that were just people in the UK haven't even done it yet. It was just the way that I felt. Like, I know for me, I do love Sydney and it's been my second home, but I think I was going to move this year, but I think London's the next stop. I think they just get me better over there. I think they're not as scared of me.
I think it's probably a bigger market too.
Totally, bigger market. And also the way that, you know, how we talk about Australians with tall poppy syndrome. My act still is quite jarring for people, but over there they aren't scared of high status. But also, I think being an Australian woman, they're a little bit like, oh, this silly Australian. Like that's how they talk. If I was British, they might not be. So
I feel like you get a bit more respect.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, like Catherine Ryan, she's Canadian. She's done really well. And I think because she's quite glam, they're like, oh, she's Canadian. She can like almost get away with it. So I feel like that's me being Australian over there. It's like I'm a little novelty a bit more. And the way that I got to do all these amazing opportunities, just because I think that I'm doing something different. And for them, they love people doing things differently, whereas I think here we play it safe. Yeah. I think we do play it safe a bit more.
Do you think your shows would take off in New York, for example?
Well, I'm doing New York in March at the Soho Playhouse. So that's from Edinburgh.
Show.
Yeah, that's from Edinburgh,
Fantastic.
which is incredible. That for me, New York's like my best city in the world. I feel like London's obviously the next step because visa-wise, it's a bit easier to get, and it's obviously culturally we're not too different. I also think I don't know if I want to be living in America these days at the moment, but New
York will be right.
I mean, New York's like not really America, is it? No, but it's. I studied there in 2015. I studied acting at Stella Adler there for the summer, and that changed my life. I was like 21, 22. Yeah. And there's something about New York City that just is, that would be the dream for me, to live in London and New York and be able to do both and come back to Australia. And because for me, I love Australia so much, but I do think that career-wise, like, we've said, I just think that comedy, even acting, like some of the things that I've already been asked to audition for coming back from Australia, from the UK.
Like a movie or a show? Or?
Yeah, for a TV show. But for me, I'm a trained actor. That's my background. And then I went into comedy as it was a bucket list thing. And then it turned into a way to be seen. And I would love to do all of it, But it's, to do New York, I feel like New York will be really exciting because I think also they're really not scared of high status. And I think they love Australians in a whole other way. Like I think the UK sees us as like their little cousin, and I think they treat us with like that. But whereas in America, I think they really like us. Like every time I'm in America, I'm like, I don't have to pay for anything.
Classic.
Free drinks, free food.
But see, the interesting thing is I love that show that you spoke about just before.
Yeah.
How, everyone's coming up to you after the show, shaking your hand, and saying such positive things. This group, massive group of
Also,
men.
and you know what? Sometimes there were men that didn't like it. Like,
I'm sure.
At the very beginning, there was two like stocky bald guys stormed out of the show, and I like imitated them walking out, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck off! I hate ugly people in my shows," and the crowd's going off.
That
like,
is funny.
it's
But
crazy.
aside from
yes,
that, though, like compare that to the end of the show that we were at,
Yes.
the Greek Youth Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
There were people there that were pissed
Yeah.
that we were talking to
How
after.
crazy.
Not about your
No,
show,
no.
but in general.
Yeah.
I feel like we just don't have the same approach to comedy in Australia.
What I'm so interested to hear, because I know that I had people come up to me, and I don't know if they spoke to you, but I make a joke about nipples, and I think it's really funny that people are scared of nipples, and I think it's quite funny. Like, and I just make the joke of, why are we scared of nipples? Like, you get men's nipples, you put them on the wall, and I say, for example, Jim Morrison from The Doors and Jesus, you're going to see his on the wall, and I sort of, see his on the cross, and then people get upset, and I go, oh, too soon,
I think it was that joke, actually.
Yeah, that joke really upset people but the thing is, I'm not making fun of Jesus. I'm making fun of how people get upset about seeing nipples. Like, it's so, but then people are coming up to me going, you shouldn't joke about Jesus before Easter.
It was probably the same person.
Yeah, and they're saying like a girl collapsed on stage because she met, like, then they're telling me these like fake stories about women like collapsing on stage because they made fun of religion. I was like, oh, that's not what I just did. And like, the thing is, you're always gonna have people that come up to you and they're offended by something, or people that come up to you and think they know what they're talking about. And I feel like sorry for them, because I'm like, lighten up. If me making a joke about Jesus's nipples, which isn't really, it's got nothing to do with Jesus really. It's just a punchline because it's funny, because people saying too soon when you talk about Jesus is funny to me. It's funny. That is funny to me. And if it's not funny to you, that's fine. But don't come up to me and say you're going to collapse on stage. Like, that for me is a bit like, that's giving a bit woggy backwards. Like, you shouldn't do that, little girl.
Yeah,
like,
look,
it's a bit policing. And look, I don't want to be sacrilegious. I would never talk about religion in a way where I'm like, I don't think people should go to church and you're stupid if you do. That's horrible. But for me, like, I'm not trying to make fun of religion in that sense. I'm making fun of how people. But the thing is, I can't go on stage and go. And by the way, I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm quite meta in my comedy because I think it's funny. But I guess sometimes I do it because there's times when people look at me and I'm like, you do realize, like, I'm making fun of how you see women. I'm not making fun of like women. But even then, it's like, I have to sit there and explain my joke to these people. Like, I think people are really. I feel upset for them.
We're not there yet. I feel
No,
like
but
we don't have that level.
Because I also think that we need to be more exposed to people. You know how there's people that are like, you can't joke about anything these days. Like, I'm not going, you can. You just have to be smart about it. And I think, unfortunately, people aren't very intelligent with their literacy, not just literacy, but like also their skills in, just interpreting things.
Yeah.
Art in general. Comprehension, that's the word. It's their comprehension of anything, because they'll jump on a buzzword. They hear Jesus and they go, oh, how dare you, how dare you. And it's kind
Which
of
I think
like,
that's what it was.
That's what it is.
That's what it was.
And they're
that
not even
night.
listening to the
context.
actual joke. God, if that's the worst thing I could say, like, you see some people what they joke about going, I think that's going to be okay, babe. Like,
the other one that was big that night, the one that absolutely split the room, was the 18-minute blowjob.
Oh yeah.
from Chris.
From Chris.
Oh,
but even
my
then,
God.
it's like, even the way that people are so conservative with the way that, like, it's. I mean,
It's like, don't you like blowjobs?
It's so funny, but it's so funny because I think comedy is such a. We look at the history of comedy and the way that it. I don't know, is quite freeing for people to get up on stage and talk about things. And there are people in the audience, like, there's definitely people in audiences that I'll split the room, and there's people that go, I don't fucking like that, and that's fine. But then there's people in the room that go, oh my God, I feel seen and I really like this and this is very funny to me. And maybe they haven't seen comedy like this before and it makes them feel good. Like, I get a lot of messages from women and queer men, but mostly women, saying they feel really empowered because of my comedy, and they feel like they don't have to put themselves down to fit in or whatever. And it's interesting that people will get a buzzword, or they'll just go, oh, you can't say, how dare you say that? Like, it should be like PG. It's almost like, well, I don't know. It's not. It's words.
A comedy show.
I loved Dave Chappelle, but I feel like there's times when I go, like, Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais, I'm like, we get it with the trans jokes. Like, it's kind of like, we don't. That stuff makes me laugh because it's like, I feel like you're my dad making fun of things just to, like, get a rise out of people. I'm embarrassed for you. Like, be smart about it. Like, you know what I mean? It's interesting. There's probably people that don't feel the same way. But I'm like, this marginalized group of people, like, why are you attacking them? They're a marginalized group of people. Why are you joking about them like you're a rich man?
Yeah.
Like, why attack them? They're already doing it tough enough. So I don't get that. It's like really weird to me. Like, I'm also, it's not like Jesus is going to hear that joke and get really upset. Is that too soon to say that? I don't know why people, it's like he has nipples. It's like I'm trying to make a joke about like we need to be desensitized to the way that people talk about like bodies and like the conservativeness of it.
There was a joke in Big Bang Theory that Howard told. He's like, when he walks into the church and there's the statue of Jesus, the sculpture there, he's like, yep, that was the last Jew to have abs.
That's so good. That's so
Is that too soon?
See, that's what I mean. I go, is it what? It's like,
that's a mainstream TV show.
It's like, and I'm not saying, really interesting, but also, people will. I think people also we're in a day in a time when people will find a way to be offended by anything. I think that's almost the problem with like social media. It's like someone will go, I love pancakes, and someone will reply and be like, well, what about waffles? And you're like, okay. Like, I don't like them. Like, why does it matter? Like, it's almost someone will always comment, well, I'm allergic to pancakes, so why? Yeah. So you shouldn't like them. It's kind of like, well, I don't give a fuck what you like. I'm talking about my thing. You don't have to project your own.
Well, we had Stephen Fry on the show at the end of last year. And he spoke about how, he's spoken at length about.
I love him.
He's fantastic.
Incredible.
The whole thing about being offended supposedly giving you some sort of right.
Yeah. Almost like I'm offended, so therefore I deserve like more respect, or like,
who cares?
Yeah, who cares if you're offended? He's so right. It's so true. It's like, for those women to come up to me, they're offended, which is like, okay. But then they come up to me almost trying to make me feel bad because they're offended. And I'm kind of going, like, what do you want me to do about it?
See, to me that night when they came to us and they were like, because we were having a little bit of a debrief, me and Billy Cotzes was there. There were a few people,
going,
all
what
those
did we
types.
just see? What the hell was that all about?
We were so, we loved it.
I know, you guys are smart guys. That's why.
We'd like to think so.
And you're feminists. That's why you like my comedy. You're smart feminists.
We'd like to think so. But it was so interesting having, and again, it was women coming up to us more than anything, saying, trying to get our opinion on it. It's like, we actually thought it was amazing.
Yeah. But see what I mean? It's like them going, oh, well, you were offended too, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, tell me that I'm right. Tell me that I'm right. It's like, maybe you're not.
Yeah. And we won't.
And you are. And you know what? Yeah. They're allowed to be offended. I'm not saying they're not, but that's not my problem.
But that was going to be my question as well.
Yeah.
Like, is there a place for the naysayers in all of this, do you think? Like, if someone really doesn't get it to that level, should they have a seat at the table, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if they don't get comedy.
I know what you're trying to say. It's like, I think everyone's allowed to watch comedy, but I also think that, I don't know, it's an interesting thing, because I think there's times when people watch my comedy and they think they get it. My comedy has so many layers that there's times when people will be like, come up to me after and go, I know a girl just like that, and she thinks she's all that, and I'm going, oh, I'm not making fun of women. Yeah. I'm making fun of how you see women and you interpret and that's just an example of my comedy. But
it's almost like I'm going to ask the person who actually knows about a topic.
Yeah.
About their opinion, because I know it actually matters. If someone doesn't get it and they have, they go online and they start ranting about it and start telling you, grabbing you after the show.
Yeah.
How much credence do you give to someone?
Well, I don't think you can. I think that there's a part of me that has, again, this conditioning as a woman, especially as a woman with Greek heritage, especially to be a people pleaser and not, oh God, I didn't mean to offend you, and like make sure everyone's okay and be like, I'm a good girl, I'm not a bad person. But then there's also, I feel like as time's gotten on, I'm like, why should I have to do that? I don't really, I see what you're saying. Like, I think that there's a part of me that's like, I need to cut that off and just let it be, because it's, even online, there's so much, there's an article came out about my nomination and about me and my comedy on SBS, and all these men losing their minds in the comments just because the quote was me saying, I think as a woman, one of the most punk rock things you can do is know that you're attractive, know that you're intelligent, know that you're funny. Like, I think that it is...
I can see the comments without even having read them.
Do you know what I mean? Because, and also they're going on, because I was like, people, a lot of men like tell girls you're too pretty to do comedy and you're too this and that. And it's kind of, there's guys going, no one ever told her that. And like, you've got some skeletons in the closet, I think, trying to allude that I was like a stripper or something. I was going, okay, I wish I'd probably be rich. I wish. I'm like, I'm a dancer that's like, yeah, I wish that was the case. I wish I had the guts. But it's more the fact that these men commenting, trying to get like, how dare you say that? And it's kind of, I just have to ignore it. And I have to just, unfortunately, it's like, it's making a comment. It's literally proving again the point of my act and my show. Yeah. That me being a confident woman stresses people out, and not just men, also women, to the point where it's like, what are they what are they fighting against? Like, what is this problem? I think that if women have the same confidence as men, and I'm not saying they have to be obnoxious, I think it's, and obviously sometimes my act is obnoxious on stage because I'm doing this extreme version of it because that's the act, that's what I've made it. And she's probably turned a little bit more into me over time. I think women benefit from being more confident in society. 100%. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think they do. And I think that we come from a culture with so many strong women. We have such, and I think that's what's part of my act is these strong women that did have to survive at times when it was really tough and bring up families and you know, look after the whole communities. You know, it's for me, being a confident woman is really important. And I think it's like, it's culturally, I think it should just naturally happen for everybody, especially this day and age. You know, we're constantly told as women, don't wear this, don't do that, like get your face fixed, you should be wearing these, you know, certain clothes or certain diets. Like, that's what we've been told our whole lives. Men, I know, have the same thing, but not to the same extent. So I think when people don't get what I'm doing and they just see it as me being this obnoxious bitch, then I'm going, I feel sorry for you. Like, I feel sorry for them I pity them. And I think that's kind of, I have to go through, it hurts when you see comments of people saying that and you try to respond and be witty about it and be silly. There's a part of me that's like, I shouldn't respond, I should just ignore it. And then there's a part of me that's like, actually, you know, fuck these guys. I want to prove a point and go, no, like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot and you don't get it and you're upset because I'm literally doing what the patriarchy has indoctrinated us all to be. But play it safe and be people pleasers and don't put your head up too high. But I think that's Australian. That's Australian culture in general. And I'm best friends with Abby Chatfield, who gets death threats every day. Do you know what I mean? Just for her political opinions. We were talking about it yesterday. We were at lunch because we were performing at the Opera House together. And she was like, what's crazy is that these men, or, you know, these neo-Nazis or whatever you want to call them, will follow her and comment and bully her and berate her and message her. She hasn't made them follow her. They've gone out of their way to follow and attack her.
And with her in particular, it's got so
bad.
Out of hand.
Oh, it's one of the scariest things, and to see one of your best friends go through that is horrifying. And for me, someone who's also in the public eye, but not even to that extent, I feel anxious when I get horrible things said to me, and that's like a minuscule of what she goes. That's like a grain of sand compared to what she gets. And again, I don't think that she would cop as much hate if she was a man. And I just think that that's another thing. It's like an opinionated woman that is confident it's like a crazy concept for people still. It's really,
I mean, to see her, you know, I can't remember how long ago it was now, like, you know, virtually in tears online.
Oh yeah, it's
like, that's
horrible.
Not something, it's not on, guys.
No, it's just a bit
seriously.
like, I don't know what their point is. It's it's, and then you've got, like, you know, the paparazzi lean in because they know people get off on it and comment on it. And there's a part of me that's like, I know being in the public eye comes with this work, but there's also, I'm like, God, surely that's not like a given. Yeah, it's almost, for me, I'm going, why should I have to? Yes, I agree. It's like, oh God, this silly example. This is a less serious example. But speaking of being Greek, me going on spelling bee, Guymont spelling bee, and I brought in like Galatoburuko, right? And now I'm trying to say it right because everyone was fucking in the comments, like ripping me to shreds about that I didn't pronounce it properly. And I'm like, I don't speak Greek fluently. I have the heritage. I'm trying to like bring a bit of culture to this show. Like, I only learnt Greek like for a little bit. I'm going, sorry, I didn't pronounce the K, the properly. Like, it's also the amount of people just berating me in the comments, like, how dare, like, oh my God, she didn't even say it right. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of going, going, okay, like, sorry, have I ruined the whole of the Greek language? Like, it's really, it's
we're going to
wild.
make a clip of just this
You
now.
have to just this. It's going to be me going, I'm so sorry I ruined everything. I'll never speak Greek again. It's kind of like, but it's funny, like people.
Just slow-mo of you saying
me also going,
Galatoburiko.
Galatoburiko.
Yeah.
Have I said it right? Yeah. But it's also me being a bit like you guys go and tape on TV and like you get one chance to say something and they air it and like you don't have a chance to edit every single thing you get to say.
We should touch on Abby as well.
Yeah, because we love her.
She had a massive spiel on Athens. She loves
Yeah, she loves Athens. So I was.
Did you play a role in that?
Well, her and her boyfriend Adam, obviously two of my best friends. For her 30th, went to. I think it was. Where was it? It was. Oh my god! Now I'm trying to remember. But they went to Hydra, and I was like, you have to go to Hydra because we went as a family.
Clips.
Oh, it's incredible. She wants to learn Greek.
Yeah.
She wants to learn Greek now and like go to Greece every year. She's just loved it, and obviously. She knows a little bit about Greece, from me, but I sort of said, Hydra's great. You'll get to see all the Leonard Cohen wannabes. Like, Adam's going to have a good writing experience. Just hope he doesn't treat you like his muses did. He treated his muses, I mean. Yeah. But yeah, she loved it. She was like, I can't, because I kept saying to her, Athens is amazing. And like, Adam has a few friends there that had given him a few hot tips of where to go because he's in music. There's such a vibe, such a scene there.
Absolutely.
Even just going there recently, like my sisters and I and my sister's boyfriend and his sister and her boyfriend, like we were just having the time of our lives. But my sister was like, she knows all the hot spots. She's because she's got like this big list of places to go in Athens, and it's a godsend. It's very really, really good. Really, that city is one of the best cities in the world. And when people don't know that, I'm like, oh, you really just don't know where to go. Like you're not cool. You don't know. It's one of the coolest, most trendy, like fun. When people say like Athens is the new Berlin, like there's all these things saying Berlin is the new Athens, which is so amazing.
But I think it sounds better when it comes from a non-Greek.
Oh, absolutely,
like
it does. There's no bias,
We're all biased. But
she did so much good for the cause in that in that way, just with that one clip. It was amazing. We were sitting and saying, fucking bring her on the show just to talk about that.
Absolutely.
We tried.
True. No, she's been so busy, but I'll put in a good word. But it's like, she's incredible. She really, really loved it. And I think she was like, I just want to go for 3 months every year.
She said she wanted to live there.
Oh, yeah, she does. Yeah. And I honestly, I'll try and join her if I can. I'm
with you.
Yeah. Because I'm hoping to move to London mid next year.
Okay.
So then I'm hoping I can get to join her and Adam, whatever island they decide to go to.
Be a tour guide.
Yeah, hopefully.
Translator.
I know, try to be. Oh my God, I'll have to learn more. She might know better Greek than me.
But they all speak English, so.
Yeah, exactly. They do anyway, don't they? That's the thing. They do. They're good like that. When you try and speak the Greek, they're going, can you just speak English?
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny.
Well, if you guys end up in Corfu, let me know.
Yeah, totally. Oh,
Sort
that's
you
so,
out.
yeah,
Good
exactly.
stuff.
Oh no, it's very, very, I love that she loved it. I knew that she would though, Yeah.
It's trendy to be, or it has been trendy in the past, to bash Athens for some reason.
Because I think people think it's not a beautiful city. And of course, aesthetically, look, cities like, I went to Rome. I hadn't been back to Rome since I was 19, went back there this year, had my birthday in Rome, and I was like, there's something about Rome. Like, Rome is incredible.
Really?
And like somewhere like Paris, beautiful. Like aesthetically, beautiful cities. Sydney, beautiful city. But there's something about Athens. It's like, it's grunge. I feel like it's grunge and it's dirty, but in a good way. Like there's something about it that like, even Naples reminds me of Athens. It's like grungy and there's like feel and there is something about it. It's not as, it doesn't have all the, like, obviously you've got the beautiful monuments and stuff in Athens, but I think like, the way that people talk about Rome and stuff is, it's so pretty, and Paris has all the awnings and all these things. But for me, there is beauty in Athens. It's just 100%. Like, I guess people are just so one note with the way they think about things. I think it's such a cool city.
It's what George Columbaris said on the show as well. Like, he called the restaurant Gazi after the area because of all of that sort of culture, and he mentioned, the
Emp City, the little suburb city. Amazing.
It's amazing.
He was mentioning the artists, the poets, the trannies, all that stuff. It's all of that put together.
Oh, it's amazing. Like just hanging out in Kolonaki and then like, it's just such a cool place. I don't like, and also nothing beats like a Fredo, literally like me being like, oh, this is why you have to come here every summer. You can't miss it. It's like I want to go every year because it's just, it's
I'm
the
going
best,
every
isn't
year.
it? You have to, now that COVID's over, not over, but it's
It
just.
is over.
So it's over, okay? It's over. I'm going,
It's all coming back.
I keep hearing people say that they keep catching. I'm going, shut up.
I don't want to know now.
No, exactly.
coming back.
But it's a beautiful city. Yeah.
So what's next for you now? So what's in the plan for the next year?
So for the next year, I'm planning my new show, which actually is probably it's gonna be about how I've never been in love and I don't know if it's real, and it's sort of about a few things I'm still like working on, obviously, so I don't want to say too much, but it's probably going to be called Aphrodite.
Wow,
so
nice.
it's going to be I'll play her in the show, the goddess of love, and if you don't know, but hopefully you all know your Greek mythology. Any listeners?
They do now.
They do now. You're welcome. And
Buy Stephen's books.
Buy Stephen's books. Yeah, I'll try and get him to be involved in some way. You guys obviously have his number.
I'm sure he'd probably do something.
I would love that, But it's
have him play Cupid.
Yeah, there we go. I'll get him to be Eros. That would be great. He'd kill that. But
just fly in.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get some. I'll get some wires in. That'd be great.
He'd love it.
He'd kill that.
In his undies.
No, but my next show is about like how I've never been in love and I don't know if it's real, but it's sort of about, it's kind of part two. I think that I see my shows, the next two shows, it's a trilogy. So it's sort of like a part two of the current show that I've been touring. And I think that there is something really, I don't know, there's something I want to delve into. I want to show a bit more vulnerability on stage, which is quite nerve-wracking for me. But even it's, again, quite meta, but I sometimes feel like the way that men treat me because I'm playing this confident woman on stage, I feel like I'm either being treated like a trophy or treated like they want to bring me down. So it's either like you're a conquest or you're someone that you're not an equal. I don't want you to be an equal. And I'm kind of going, is there someone out there? Is it bad to be a woman that wants that? Am I not a good feminist if I want male validation? Is that so bad? Vogue saying having a boyfriend's embarrassing now. Like, there's all these like things that I want to talk about in it. And I think it will have like some moments about like, Greek mythology, Greek heritage. Like, is that influencing how I feel? So there's lots that I need to.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so much I need to work on the show. I'm doing some work in progresses. Perth, Sydney, and Adelaide, there'll be work in progresses of this show. Because in my current show, like I sing and dance and play different characters and do stand up, so there'll be some elements of that happening, and I got to see what works. And then I'll be also going to New York in March with the Australia's First Attractive Comedian show, also doing that in Hobart for one night in March, and then I'll be debuting Aphrodite, the new show. I think it's going to be called that. I think it's going to be called Aphrodite, and I think the tagline will be like, to be desired is currency, but to desire is a liability. I think that's what it's kind of about.
Okay.
Like this whole idea of to be desired as not just as a woman but as a man, it's like currency. I'm desirable, but then to desire, I feel like it's this liability. Like I'm scared to be vulnerable, and I think that is the way that modern dating is. I think the way that we've been sort of told, it's like cringe, like we don't go out and dance anymore and let ourselves like let loose and go up to people and even talk to them. I think like even the generation younger than me, people don't even talk to people in public, and I think we've lost this way of like making connection. And
True.
I sort of feel like there's so much to delve into.
It's all happening on your fucking phone now.
Yeah.
Like,
Even I'm someone who, being single, I was like, I don't really want to go on dating apps because I think I prefer to meet people in person. But even then it's sort of, it's a very funny thing. It's like, am I supposed to be making this effort? And then I'm kind of like, I feel like the reactions are interesting to how men maybe respond to me. Is it like, I'm not desirable because I'm a confident woman on stage? It's like I'm actually really sensitive and soft, and I'm very multifaceted, which is the point of my first show. But this is now talking more about, there's so many friends of mine that are like, it's doomed out there to be single in 2025. It's like or in this day and age, it feels really hard. Like it's almost like gone into this weird realm of like we can't even talk to people anymore. It's all online.
This is all an anthropological study now. Seriously, like what would Attenborough say about 20, 30 years ago? People would go to a dance
and meet each other. You'd move. I have a whole bit, right, that I've been working on. You're going to laugh.
Sorry, I'm ruining it.
No, I love it. This is perfect because it's good promo. I've been doing this. I was doing at the Opera House this whole bit about how, being this is so silly, but, I think that I feel for men because I think masculinity is a bit of a prison. I think it's a bit of a prison because as women, we're scared to walk down the street late at night. Yeah, that's scary for us. But at least we're not scared of dancing. Men are scared of dancing. Not the Greeks, who obviously do, a bit of the Zorba and everything. But lots of men are scared of dancing, and I find it really sad. Like, can you imagine not being free enough to? I mean, I'm sure you guys get down and boogie at weddings and things. I assume.
If my wife's around, honestly, not as much.
Oh, really?
Because I'm terrible at it,
But also,
and she tells me
but I don't want men to feel like they can't dance because they're terrible at it. Because this is me almost being like, dancing's an audition for sex, so you better get good at it.
Wow.
It's true.
Okay.
But even this whole idea of like to court people back in the day, you had to like move your body and like
Show your moves.
and like go out, and I think like dancing also
point.
makes people feel good.
But that's why I want
as a
David
dancer,
Attenborough to commentate on it.
And I think it's such an interesting thing of not meeting people in person these days, but going through an app and you're judging a photo and then you meet them and you go, I would never speak to that person in real life. And
that's a good point.
and even this whole idea of people making sure they have multiple options and no one really commits because they're worried about, there's probably something better around the corner. Like, that's the day and age we live in. And there's a part of me that's like, will I ever experience this thing that people talk about? Is love real? So I'll be touring that show, Melbourne, I'll be doing Sydney, Brisbane, Auckland, Wellington, and oh my God, Sydney, of course. And what did I already say? Sydney. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what cities I haven't said. Hopefully Canberra as well.
This is all going to be next year, eh?
Yeah.
What month?
The actual show, Aphrodite, will be in April. Will be Melbourne, the debut.
Okay. Yep.
Then in May, it's a big month. It'll be Sydney, I think Auckland, Wellington, Perth, and Brisbane. Maybe Canberra. I did one night in Canberra last year and they were the most beautiful crowd, and I just was like, I have to make sure I go to
The
Canberra.
Hellenic Club?
No, it was at the uni. I'm trying to remember what theatre it was in, but it was part of the comedy festival, but I missed the comedy festival because I'm in New York this year, but I was like, I'll just put on one night, so I really hope I'll make it to Canberra because they really turn out for you. I think because not many people come to Canberra. Bless them. I feel like I relate because I'm from Perth. Not many people came to Perth either. And then after that, I'll take it overseas. I'll probably do Edinburgh with this new show. I'll do encores as well of Australia's First Attractive Comedian because my first show getting nominated, hopefully do an encore in a bigger room as a chance for people to see it. And then I'll probably tour the first show.
Okay.
UK, Europe is the plan. That's the plan. You know what I mean? Crazy year ahead, and I'm hoping to move June, July is the plan. But we'll see. It's I got a lot of touring to go, but I think I want to get as much out of it
like
now.
You enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I do enjoy it. I think I also am like, there's still life with the first show. I think it has a really important message, and I hope that more people can see it. And because of the response that I had in the UK, even the fact that international, like people from Italy and even the Netherlands came to see the show in Edinburgh, and they're like, please come to the Netherlands. Like, people want to produce the show, and I've got the Greek passport now, so may as well. Do you know what I mean? So it would be amazing to try and do it in Athens as well. Can you imagine?
Yes.
So I'm hoping that
do it in July. I'll
I'll invite you guys.
Be
Because I feel bad. Obviously, you guys saw me do. You haven't seen the show.
No,
I feel like you guys would. I feel like you guys would
in
love
May.
it.
So we'll definitely come to May.
That'll be the new show.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for the old one, not the old one, but the first one that I made that I got nominated for. I feel. I'm hoping that I'll be able to film it as like a proper special and stuff. But even if I do any encores of it, I'll invite you guys along because I think it's
100%.
also a good intro to my comedy and me. And I think it's a part one of the trilogy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, I can't wait to see this next one.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well, because I mean that almost sounds like the anti-Sex in the City to some degree.
Well, even a bit, yeah. But also, there's a part of me that's like, it's so interesting because I think women's sexual liberation is really important. But I'm kind of like, wait, are men benefiting off this more than us?
Yeah.
Are they? But then men are like, there's a loneliness epidemic, and I'm like, whose fault's that? Like, it's kind of this really interesting thing.
This is why it's interesting because it is so multifaceted.
It is so multifaceted, and I'm obviously talking about it now without finishing the show. So there might be some of this in it, there might not be, but I think it's so topical. I think that there was a part of me that was like, maybe I should like take the year to like make the show, and I don't think that I can. I think I have to go while the momentum's up and
absolutely.
like
Current
make it.
themes. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I hope so. And I also think it's nice to talk about. I want to talk about my heritage and not in like a not that I don't judge people that talk about their heritage in like a certain way. I think that there is a interesting conversation that I have with especially young women who come from ethnic backgrounds about like this sort of shame or this I don't know, the way that we've been brought up and wanting to do the right thing and but also wanting to be independent. And I don't know, I think it's something that I think a few people will resonate with, and I think it's
100%.
important to talk about. And then there's also a part of me that's like, last week I was going, I don't think anyone cares about this. I don't know if I should do this show. Like there's me off stage is very, I don't know if this is going to go down well. I don't know if people are going to like this, but I think that's also the beauty of art is like you put out something, and I didn't know that people would resonate with the first show the way that they did. Like for people to be crying as they walk out, I was like, oh, like, wow, this is really resonating with people. And so I think
Not the effect I was intending,
yeah,
but
and hopefully laughing more than crying. But even then, it's like the way that the messages that I would get, I was like, okay, clearly I'm saying something that is resonating with people. So if this is really speaking to me and I can't stop thinking about material to do with the show, I've got to put pen to paper. I've got to make this new show, and hopefully, hopefully it goes well. We'll see, guys. I'm doing the cross, trying to make sure no one gives me the mati.
Can't wait.
Thank
it's
you.
going to be good.
We can't wait to see it,
Bless
honestly.
you guys. I can't wait for you to see it.
Well, for those who haven't already followed Elouise, Weezer Squeezer.
Yes,
on
Weezer
Instagram.
Squeezer, which is
Love
also
it.
so funny. My name's obviously Elouise, but this is so woggy. It's like my family call me Elouisa, which is just, I mean, I guess my name in Greek is Elousa, and that's why. So Elouisa, and then my sister couldn't say Elouisa, so she called me Weezer. So then Weezer became my nickname, and Weezer Squeezer. So that's my handle on Instagram. It is. Yeah.
Follow Elouise because there's heaps coming your way, obviously, with new shows. Great content on there as well.
Thank you.
You got a website as well that you want to plug?
No, I just have basically everything's on the gram. Everything's on the Instagram.
Beautiful.
Just Google. But find me. I usually post when I'm doing shows and stuff on my story. I've got a link tree with all the links of what I do. You know, if there's any girls that love a dance class, I also teach dance classes with my friend.
Beautiful.
Like, there's a bit of everything. But I definitely will post all my tour dates and ticket links. You can only buy tickets now for the New York show. So if you're in New York, come and see me in March. I would love to see you there.
Fantastic.
Definitely. We got listeners in New York, Queens.
We do.
Wow.
And there's a bunch of Americans coming on for season 5 as well.
Yeah.
So
Amazing. You guys are doing well. I'm excited. I'm
you.
so
Definitely.
stoked to be on the pod. So thank you so much for
we're
having
stoked to
me.
have you.
The Consulate General's Kalimnian clans there, aren't they?
Yeah,
we talked about in the last episode.
There's a whole bunch there.
Yeah, 80-odd cousins. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this is
Big
so
community.
special. I hope that people listen and aren't going, what the hell is she talking about?
No, I don't think so.
They all listen, don't worry.
No, I think Greeks are really smart. We're philosophers.
That's right.
I'm actually like a philosopher. I'm like Socrates,
That's
just like
right.
a girl.
Couple of Ouzos, we saw
Hey,
everything.
don't laugh, man. That's
So silly saying that. But when you said anthropology, I was like, that's what my comedy is. I think
But it
it is
is.
anthropology, which is, see, you guys are smart. We love feminist men. They're feminists.
I have a praise kink, so I'm really liking this.
Love that. That's what my show's all about. It's me being like, what? I can be your fantasy, whatever you need.
Classic.
So silly. Oh, you guys are so
dear.
sweet. Ευχαριστώ πολύ for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Elouise. Really appreciate it. All the very best.
Thank
we love you.
I love you guys. Thank
All right.
you.
Well, ouzotalk@outlook.com is the email. Follow us on social media @ouzotalk and @ouzo_talk. Also on Instagram, Nick Athanasiou, Elouise Eftos. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you,
Γεια
everyone.
σας.
Bye-bye.
Ouzo Talk is produced, written and presented by Tom Skolarikas and Nick Athanasiou. Our theme music is written and played by Peter Apostolidis, with additional music from George Kalapidis and Bouzouki legend Thanasis Polikandriotis.
Ακολουθήστε μας στο Soundees, στο Spotify, στο Apple Podcasts και στο Google Podcasts.